What's going on, Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the Fins Up Network. And God, you better be as excited as I am because I'm sure you heard the news by now. Throwing it up on the screen right now. Hold on. It's a celebration. We need to take a quick drink. Celebratory beers for the rest of the week because the Miami Dolphins needed to address the offensive line in this free agency. Got Connor Williams. That's all fine and well. Needed help at tackle. You see it right there. Signed Terron Armstead, 5 year, a deal worth up to $87.5 million. 43.37 million of that guaranteed. Arguably, look at almost anyone's free agent rankings going into this offseason. Terron Armstead is likely number one. I don't think he fell behind number three in any of the rankings that I saw. And we talked about it. Dolphins needed this. They needed offensive line so bad. And I know this. He doesn't come without flaws. He's arguably one of the best left tackles in the game when he's healthy. But that's the but when he's healthy. So I want to talk about this a little bit because there are concerns, but there's a little bit of a misconception. Look at the last 3 years of the games that he's missed. In 2019, missed one game. In 2020, he missed 2 games. Those were COVID related. So I think we should probably not really count those towards injury related games. And then, yes, last year he did miss over half the season. He missed 9 games. And that's alarming, but injuries happen. And I know previous years he missed anywhere from like 5 to like 6, 7 games per season. It was a little bit of a trend that you don't want to go down. But you take this kind of talent when you can get it, especially when you're in a position that the Miami Dolphins find themselves in. Everyone knows this is, I don't want to call it make or break for Tua, but they needed to surround him with an offensive line and playmakers and running backs finally to see if he can be the guy moving forward. They did it. The excuses are out the window. The excuses are gone. Added the 2 running backs in Mostert and Edmonds. Added the linemen now in Armstead and Connor Williams. And I'm going to get to what may transpire from there. But they did it. They got exactly what they needed in order to see if Tua can be the guy for this offense. So let's look at what this offensive line looks like now, because there are a couple of different options, and I've got 3 different options. Obviously, there's actually more options than this, but this is what I came up based on the current personnel the team has. So if you look at option 1, left tackle, you got Armstead. He's going to be the left tackle in every single option. But remaining in option 1, left guard, you got Connor Williams, where he's always played. At center, you got either Michael Dieter, a free agent, or a draft pick. At right guard, you leave Robert Hunt right where he is. And then at right tackle, you either have Liam Eichenberg or Austin Jackson. It'd be a different fit for Jackson, but Eichenberg coming into the league said he's likely most confident as a right tackle. So with that, I want to bring up one more thing real quick, because if you look at that center position, Dieter, free agent, NFL draft. I believe it was Barry Jackson tweeted out shortly after the Dolphins made the Armstead move that this team isn't done addressing the offensive line, and center is going to be next. And I think if you're like me, you're saying, let's shoot for the moon. I mean, let's go get JC Tretter. This becomes an unbelievable offensive line. That left side would just be jacked. But kind of got to temper your expectations. You can keep your fingers crossed and hope. But there's a couple of options in the draft as well. If the Dolphins want to bring in a guy that's seen more as like competition for Michael Dieter, just Tyler Linderbaum off the top of my head. But keep this option in mind. This is kind of everyone playing at their most natural position. If you look at option 2, keep the same 3. You got Armstead, Williams, Dieter, and then at right guard, rather than having Hunt there, there's some talk, there's some speculation. Maybe he moves to tackle, which leaves you with either Austin Jackson or Liam Eichenberg on the inside. I don't like this quite as much. I am curious to see what Robert Hunt could provide on the outside. Makes you a little bit nervous, though, with Austin Jackson switching over to right guard, essentially meaning that he's played 3 positions in the NFL in 3 years. And Liam Eichenberg not really having the experience at guard, but he's young. Maybe you can mold him into what you want to be. So this is an option, not a preferred option, but it's what we've got so far. And then if you look at option 3, essentially this keeps everyone kind of where they were last year. You got Armstead left tackle, Jackson where he was at last year at left guard, Dieter or Tretter, Linderbaum, whoever at center. You keep Hunt at right guard, and then at right tackle, you move Connor Williams. He's come out in some of his press conferences so far saying, hey, put me anywhere. I'll play there. He played tackle in college. He's exclusively played left guard in the pros, but he shows some versatility with the ability to be able to move from the inside to the outside. Once again, you're taking a little bit more of a risk here by moving your stud guard to the outside, but it remains an option. So keep those on the board. My vote would be for option one. I'm curious to hear actually what you guys want to do with this new offensive line as well. And feel free to add JC Tretter right into your mix as well. Because, yeah, we got to be optimistic in the offseason, baby. That's what we do. But one thing I want to hit on real quick and kind of back to the injury concerns of Terron Armstead. Here's the deal. Even if you get Armstead for 12, 13, 14 games, you can't think of this signing as a bust, as a failed, like, oh, we knew he was going to get hurt. It's not the way you can look at it. You need to be able to count on your backups. So you get a top 3 left tackle for the majority of the season. My God, if Eichenberg or Jackson can't fill in for a handful of games without the wheels completely falling off the offense, without the offense being able to be competent, then that's inexcusable at this point. Both of those guys should see improvement this offseason. It's going to be Jackson's third opportunity. It's going to be Eichenberg's second opportunity. They've got new offensive line coach. They've got a new head coach. They've got a brand new scheme. There's literally no excuse. One of those guys can't fill in if Armstead were to get injured and at least keep the offense intact, unlike what we saw last year. Like plays were just blowing up. That's inexcusable this year. And if Armstead goes down and those guys fail, guess what? We're back to the drawing board anyways. But we found out Eichenberg and Jackson can't be the guys. But for the time being, you've got to be ecstatic about this move. I mean, I was even in the camp where I wanted Armstead or Morgan Moses or Lyle Collins. Like any of those guys, you got to live with. You got to be fine with. They're massive upgrades over what the Dolphins had. But Armstead is the big ticket. Like I was almost leery to talk about him in previous videos because it's like, oh, you're shooting for the moon. You're going for free agent number 1, a guy that's wanted by so many teams in the league. The fact that Miami Dolphins got him is a great sign. It's showing that players want to come to Miami. They want to play for McDaniel. They want to block for Tua. And now we see what happens with the center position. So keep those fingers crossed. Keep that beer handy. Like I said, celebratory beers the rest of the week. But let's hear your comments, Dolphins fans. If you like what you see, if you like the idea of Armstead being the left tackle on this offensive line, go ahead and give this video the thumbs up. But that's what I've got for the Armstead signing, and I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with some more great news. But until then, that's my time, and we'll see you later, Dolphins fans.